Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into TradeChat. My name is Panzer. This is Nico.
Hey, guys.
Hi, and we are going to be talking about our Nintendo Switch purchase today. So I feel like we're not the normal Switch, consumer right now. Because most people who have Switches, pre-ordered them months and months and months ago and have been hyped for them forever. And we did not pre-order a Switch.
No.
I didn't realize I wanted one until the day they came out, which is a terrible time to decide you want something like that.
Yeah.
So I was super sick. I still had the flu. I don't know if you can hear me. I still kind of am deep in man territory with my voice. But I decided I really, really wanted one. So I was looking on Target.com and all these places to see what had availability. And Nico got up the next morning. It was a Saturday, 8 o'clock in the morning, and drove to a Target that was a half an hour away because they happened to have a couple that weren't pre-ordered, and got one. And with it, we got
Lucky me.
Zelda, or me, lucky me, I guess. We got Zelda Breath of the Wild. I got Skylanders Imaginators, and I got I Am Setsuna, which is a Square title. I had gotten Bomberman, but before I opened it, I had read online that it had some input lag issues, so I returned it. So those are the 3 games that we have right now, and we've both played this quite a bit. Both at home and while traveling because we were just in Boston, so...
The only one I didn't try was I Am Setsuna. So.
I know. I'm really disappointed you haven't tried that because...
I'm going to.
Okay. I'm, very stuck on it. But I feel like Nick and I have very different thoughts on the Switch. And I don't know if that's because I'm kind of, I don't know, needy. And you're, go with the flow. But... Maybe. I really I've been playing a lot of Skylanders Imaginators, which I guess is a game made for children. It was so fun. I don't care. And I tried playing Breath of the Wild. That was the first game I really tried to play for Switch. And unpopular opinion, I didn't like it.
She's crazy.
You love it though, right?
She's insane. Yeah. It's the best game that I have played in years.
The best
so
game
good.
He's played in years. I couldn't.
So good.
Okay, so my issue... And granted, now, full disclosure, I've never really played any Zelda games before because I didn't have Nintendos growing up. So I haven't really had it. And then, we had a Wii and a Wii U, but the Zeldas for Wii and Wii U had a lot of motion controls. And I kind of hate motion-controlled games. I just always felt like it was a novel...
I typically...
She, just knocked something off of that shelf.
I typically am not, a huge fan of motion controls, especially when they're, integrated. I don't usually like games where, you're part not motion and part motion. I feel like it is quirky and sometimes doesn't work right.
Yeah.
But
this is not talking about the Switch, by the way. This is
in general.
Previous, Wii and Wii U titles.
But in Breath of the Wind,
Wild,
yeah, sorry. In Breath of the Wild, they have that, and I haven't disabled the motion controls because it doesn't feel quirky. Because, even when you go into a situation where you could use the motion controls, when you're firing your bow or whatever, you don't have to. You can still use the joystick. I disabled them,
but I also think the bow controllers are horrible. I think going back, the reason I never played any Zelda games for the consoles I did own was because they all had, swing your sword, aim your bow controls that that was just how the game was, and I wasn't willing to sit there and I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't exactly have tickets to the gun show. I'm not trying to use my muscles that much when I play video games. I'm just not. So I never played it any of the newer ones Twilight Princess or anything. So I bought Breath of the Wild. I'd heard it was so amazing. I was super excited, and I was unbelievably frustrated playing it. It is the reasons that I don't like it are all the reasons that the people who like it like it. People are I love that it doesn't hold my hand. I have no idea what's going on, ever. I feel like they just send you off and are good luck. I saw a meme today that was me talking to anyone else who plays Breath of the Wild, and it's I didn't know you could do that. And that was they were excited, right? But that doesn't make me excited. I wish there was an easier difficulty of it. And it's not that it's oh, it's hard, that's why I don't like it. It just doesn't feel very intuitive. And
it's not not the combat that you're talking about. It's more of the quests and where you're going, what you're doing,
where you're going, what you're doing. I also don't like the way the weapons work either. Because in Breath of the Wild, your weapon, you don't get to keep it. It breaks after so often and then it's gone. I think eventually when you get higher level, you can start to repair things and hold on to your stuff. But
I'm not sure.
You're not there yet, and you're a good 20, 30 hours into that game, maybe more. And, I hate that, mid-fight you have to, stop and switch your weapon, or, if you run out of arrows, you have to stop and switch your arrows or switch your bow. I think there are times when you really need more fingers than you have
to use. One of the things that that they did was when you're in the process of switching a weapon over, it's not like the game continues to be live. You know, like as soon as you open the weapon switching like interface, the game pauses. So it's not like combat. It's not like you're getting attacked while you're trying to equip a new weapon or something like that. But that feels very jarring
to me. Like if I'm in combat, it's weird to me that you have to like pause to like, hold on, sir, let me put on. It's like my immersion. Like I don't. Yeah. It doesn't, and I understand like a lot of things I don't like are precisely the things that other people do like. And I know that. It's not like I'm saying like my opinion is the end all be all. I just felt like it was very not intuitive, and I felt like the quest tracking isn't very good. I thought the bow controls were wonky. It's very
akin to games that were very popular when I was a kid. Like it definitely reminds me of Ocarina of Time. It has a super familiar play style to that. Everything you need to, you know, understand where you have to go or what quest you're on or whatever, like it is in the text of the game as you're playing it. It's just a matter of
it's like read 5 minutes of text to have one sentence that tells you what to do. Like I don't have that kind of patience. Wait, backing up. This wasn't really supposed to be a Breath of the Wild review. I just know that that's kind of the game everybody bought with the system. And I'm glad that you love it because now I don't feel so much like that was a waste of money. But I was really frustrated. Like I would actually say like I did not have fun playing it. There were also a couple puzzles. I don't know if you ever got to the one that I was telling you about, but there's a couple puzzles that really require you to be in this form as opposed to like playing it on a TV. And I felt like nothing should require one or the other. Like everything should be doable without cheesing it in both
Well, it
forms.
is. The actual motion controls aren't in the screen. They're in the controller.
They're in the control, but it's still awkward.
So you
can't really see what you're doing. I mean, I did it, but I didn't want to. I just felt like, I don't know. I felt like if that exact same game didn't have a Zelda title on the front of it, it would not have been reviewed 10 out of 10. I feel like there's a lot of like nostalgia and bias blinders on, and people are just like, oh, Zelda.
I'm going to have to disagree with that completely.
I totally
like this game is like everyone absolutely loved like Skyrim, and it's been like for years like one of the games that like everyone compares, you know, good games to. Like if the game's like if you have like a really awesome game, people will be like, it's like not quite as good as Skyrim, but like I feel like this game is like the first game that is on par with like Skyrim.
Now, to be fair, there's a solid chance that I just don't like open world like RPGs, like because it's like a sandbox open world RPG. And there's just a solid, I might not like that type of game, like, which is fine. Like, but I just genuinely feel like if that didn't have, like, I don't know how the bow controls got there. And I also think it's strange that, like, so you use one joystick to move and the other one to move the camera, but there's no way to toggle the camera to, like, lock to your face. You know what I mean? To, like, facing forward. So you at all times are, like, moving two joysticks, manipulating your weapons. I just felt like the controls were wonky and convoluted, and like
I feel like you get used to it really quickly.
Although
like,
I'm still struggling with Nintendo's.
I just don't think you played it long enough to be comfortable with the controls.
How long do you think you should have to play a game to be comfortable with the controls?
I don't know.
Because I put a solid like 10 hours into that game. Like it's not like I put no time into it all.
Yeah,
I think in 10 hours, if I don't feel good, it's not really about getting used to it. I just feel like when you're switching weapons, there are times when I feel like you need an extra finger. Like it just feels like I don't have enough fingers to do whatever I need to do. I don't know. Again, this wasn't really supposed to be a Breath of the Wild review. It's just that's sort of like the launch title for Switch.
And I know this is her channel, but just so you're all aware, she's wrong. I'm right. It's an awesome game.
Welcome to married life. But the Switch itself, I don't think I really have any complaints about. My one complaint would be that this is the least ergonomic. I have such a hard time with that word. Ergonomic thing of all time. It's heavy to be holding it awkwardly, and then you're up here and it feels like all this weight is on like this, and I don't understand why they don't have like rounder something, or I don't know, it just feels like too big and bulky. Like I can't sit there and play it like this. It hurts my hands. Like I can't do it. So
Whereas me, I've probably put like 50 hours into this thing, and it's almost entirely been in this form. Holding it like this.
Because you played it a lot in the hotel.
Yeah. And like even the other day when I had 45 minutes before work and wanted to play it for a little bit, I didn't sit on the couch. Like I took this to my office and sat in my computer chair. It just, to me, it feels fine.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a weak person in general. I don't have a lot of muscles. I need to work on that. But it was really uncomfortable. Like, I don't think it's bad when you're in because it comes with like a controller that's like it holds it and it kind of looks like an Xbox controller. But this would be one of my biggest complaints about the system. That controller doesn't charge. Like, you cannot charge the controllers in that format, but they sell one that does. And it just feels like greedy. In my opinion, there's no reason.
All right, well, there's a few different things that, like, we should touch on about charging, so let's go through that. Like, one of the things that I wanted to mention first was the
kickstand and the charger.
The position of the charger with the kickstand. Oh, my God.
Yeah. They did so many little things that just felt like they were trying to get extra money. Like, okay, so the kickstand is here. So if you're playing
it's right on the back.
If you're playing it, whether you're playing with the controller joypad or you're playing it with just whatever, you cannot charge it because the charger's here because the kickstand blocks that. And they sell, like, the Hori makes an officially licensed Nintendo, blah, 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 that lets you access the charger. But, like, that just feels like poor design. That should be on the top, not on the bottom.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there actually is a design reason as far as where the components are laid out inside this that would mandate that the charging port had to be on the bottom, but it just seems like it would be a lot more convenient if this charging port was on top.
No, that they did that so that you would have to buy the stupid Hori thing, so that you would have to. It just felt very much like this is buy our stuff. Although you don't have to buy proprietary stuff. I bought like a regular like Amazon Basics tablet stand and it worked just fine.
Well, they also have it, so that they have the stand that you can set it in, and I know that connects.
But this doesn't. It connects down here. But you can't tell me they couldn't have run a cord through the back so that the charging port was up top.
Well, no, these aren't. These are just empty. Those are just to line it up.
No.
All the data goes through here.
There's no pin.
What I'm saying is data doesn't go through here. Data still only goes through there, so it had to be on the bottom. It doesn't plug in. It doesn't plug in. It docks on those two little things, but it's a wireless charging component. When you put it in there, it's the same thing as putting it on like a Samsung when we had our Galaxy phones. You could just set it on the wireless pad. That's how it charges and like does data and everything. It doesn't. There is no to put it in there. Giggity. So I just feel like this was designed like this specifically. That doesn't. Where's the HDMI?
It doesn't plug in. Do you want to go look in the dock?
Let's get the dock.
He's going to get the dock. I'm not wrong. I promise you I'm not wrong, but we'll see when he gets back. Hold, please. So, no, I get what you're saying that it sits in the dock, but it's not. It doesn't stick up. It's flush. Like, it's not like it actually plugs into there.
It does, yeah.
It doesn't.
Because, like, when it's flush, it's here.
What are you...
That's flush with the bottom.
Okay. It's not going into anything, though, Nick. Those are the two little...
That's the USB-C right there.
It does not plug into there.
Yeah, it's right there.
Nick,
it does.
Just because it's there, it's not... Oh, okay. I was wrong.
Oh, the bass depresses. Okay,
this is one of those situations where we were kind of both right. The bass on this does depress, so it does plug in. You just got so loud. So I guess the bass on this does depress, so it does technically plug in. But in my opinion, that in and of itself is kind of a... So, it just doesn't seem like...
I'm just not sure, like, if it was...
Yeah, but here's the thing, though.
That was clearly their intent.
But if you were going to put it in the docking station, it wouldn't matter if it was upside down. Like, it straight up would not matter if it was upside down.
That's true.
This was 100% so they could sell their accessory. That's all this was for. It's a poor design.
I don't think it's 100% greed. I mean, every device in existence almost has the charging on the bottom. It does come with some nuisances.
No, that's poor design. They want you to stand it up like that, but you can't charge it while it's standing up. When it's in the mobile mode. So
then the other charging thing was with the controllers, and as it comes out of the box, the only way it charges controllers is if they're attached to the main unit.
Yeah.
There's no way that they haven't provided any way to charge them when it's not attached.
Unless you buy the accessory, that's like $30.
Which means that if your controllers die while you have it docked and you're playing on your TV, you therefore can't play it on your TV anymore. You have to reconnect the controllers to the main thing and pick it up in order for them to charge. Now, granted,
so far the battery life has seemed crazy. Like, we haven't had anything like that happen, so I can't really complain too much in that sense. but it still feels...
We haven't been home, though, so the controllers have been connected to the main unit.
Yeah, but I sat here the day that I got it. I sat on the couch and played Zelda for like 8 hours, and like it never died. And I don't even think we charged it all that long before.
You never even got a warning?
No, I never even got... They last
low
forever.
Or anything. Yeah.
You know what else is strange about the controllers in the Switch? So the controllers connect... Please don't do that.
Arthas messing things up.
The controllers connect to the unit via Bluetooth, which is really nice for a lot of reasons. Like if you were to get replacement controllers, it's very easy to sync them. But if you put this device in airplane mode, like when you're on a plane, despite the fact that it has no cellular function whatsoever, it disables the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. And Bluetooth isn't something that you need to turn off when you're in airplane mode. Like lots of people have Bluetooth earbuds. You don't need to turn off Bluetooth devices when you're in a plane. So if you follow the rules and put your device in airplane mode, you cannot use this with the controllers taken off on a plane, which is very stupid.
I'm sure they just assumed that if you're on a plane, you'd be holding it like this.
But it's uncomfortable. And they don't make a grip.
Not like you, where you've got to stand on your lap and the controller in your hands.
But it hurts my hands. Like, I genuinely would not be able to play it like that if not. It's heavy and it's big and it hurts my hands. And, like, I was really surprised that they don't make, like, a grip for this that you could, like, snap on.
Is there anything you like about the Switch?
I like a lot of things about it, but like it's a review, so we're supposed to be. I mean, it's a great price though, so you can't complain too much because $300 for a console that can be mobile and home that's cheaper than an Xbox or a PlayStation, which are stationary, and they're both hot. They overheat. You can't have them in like small things. Blah blah blah. And of course, I think Nintendo has the best. Proprietary games. Like their exclusive games are, in my opinion, like Mario titles are. I like platformers though, so I mean, of course, I'm going to be in that.
I think just overall, I think this console is like super innovative from Nintendo.
It's like
I'm
everything.
so happy with the functionality of it. And it doesn't seem like, even though they've made it small and compact and portable, and you can take it with you, they haven't compromised on their game quality or their graphics or anything like that. You have a lot of, the other consoles in their games that, they're striving to push graphics capabilities further and further. They're trying to get as close to realism as they can. And I feel like a few years ago or whenever it may have happened, Nintendo just kind of drew a line and was like, these graphics are good. We really don't need to push it farther than that. Our games are about the story, the gameplay, the content. It's not about looking real. And they've been able to keep their games, on super small little chips, because they don't, and keep their console at a portable level because they don't have to, bulk it up with all these high-end graphics and processing units and cooling. You hear so much about consoles needing cooling, and I accidentally left this on in the insulated carrying case for 6 hours while we were on vacation, and I didn't tell her about that. But it was totally fine. There was no, no cooling issues. It didn't turn off. And totally fine.
We don't have we don't have the newer Xbox. We don't have the S, right?
No, we don't.
Okay, so we have the Xbox. No, I kind of think we do have the S. We bought them kind of recently. We didn't buy them first run. Anyways, we have the new version of the Xbox One, and we just bought a PlayStation 4 Pro. Is that what
PS4
it is?
Pro. Yep.
A PS4 Pro and a 4K TV and all the bells and whistles and whatnot. But it still gets so hot. You can't keep a PlayStation in an entertainment center. You can't do it unless you're going to leave the door open the entire time. We have it sitting on top because it gets so hot. And I don't understand how, someone like Nintendo, you can hold this while it's playing and it never gets hot.
Yeah.
It never gets hot. And, PlayStation 4s can heat a room. They're nuts. Yeah. So, backtracking a little bit more to the system, there's a lot of things about this that I feel were so good. All of the things that they wanted to do with the Wii U, it felt like they accomplished with the Switch. They wanted the Wii U to be a system that you took out with you, not necessarily out of the house, but they wanted it to be if someone's using the TV, you can just use the gamepad. But the gamepad kind of had crappy graphics. I never used it that way. And it always felt like one person got, the good controller and one person got, gypped.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it felt like. Mm-hmm. And we haven't played any two-player games yet because, like I said, we bought Bomberman and I'd read that there was some input lag issues, so I didn't do it. And we haven't.
I do want to get the 1-2 switch.
Yeah, I do, especially since we read somewhere that like that game sucks if you're both left-handed or both right-handed.
That was someone told me that at PAX.
But he's a lefty and I'm a righty, so it would be fine for us. Yeah. We'll definitely get that eventually. The other game that I got was I Am Setsuna, and that was made by Square. And I don't think that has anything to do with the Switch, but that game is ridiculously hard. You can't save. The save points are really sporadic, and you can't save before you've defeated like the first like boss. And I've wiped on the first boss 3 times and then never turned the game back on because I just don't see why. And you watched it happen. I mean, I got like 1 shot. It wasn't a matter of...
Yeah.
Am I supposed to say no? Like when they're like, do you want to help us defend the village? Am I supposed to say no, I don't want to do that? Because I don't want to play a game where I can't defend the friggin' princess.
And that's super uncharacteristic of Square as well, because like in almost every Final Fantasy I've ever played, and I know that's not the same line of games, but same company, there's always a save directly before boss. Every time.
No, this, like, when you get in and you name your first character, there's a save. Then you run, you save the girl, you fight someone, you wake up, you're in, like, a village. The village, like, hates you and they want to kill you, but then their village gets attacked by monsters. So then you spend 10-15 minutes helping them kill all these monsters. And then when you get to the big guy, 2 people join your party that you've never played before. Mm-hmm. And then I get stomped, and there's no save point in between. And it's like a good half an hour, 45 minutes. Like, it's a long time.
Yeah.
So I got frustrated with that, and I was waiting for Nick to play it so he could tell me what I was doing wrong. I know, like, I feel like I've said this in a lot of videos, and I'm not sure that people believe me, but, like, I've never claimed to be, like, a professional anything, really. Like, I am an amateur. I think there are some games that I'm better than average at, but most games, like, I am average or below. Like, I really enjoy video games, but I'm not like the best at them by any means.
That's what video games are all about. You know, no one's expecting you or us to be professional gamers.
Except Nintendo and Breath of the Wild.
Games are supposed to be fun, so.
And I Am Setsuna. They both expect you to have a lot more skill than I do, apparently.
Breath of the Wild doesn't expect you to have skill.
Yes,
they just want you to read.
No. I was walking to do when you start the game, you have to go collect like 6 stones, and those are going to give you runes for your little chic stone. And I was going to do those, and I was just walking through this valley, minding my own business, and the world started shaking, and a big boulder like emerged from the ground underneath me, and he was a boss. And I was like, okay, if a boss spawns underneath you, you should probably kill him. I probably wiped him 20 times before Nick was like, Danielle, just skip him. Why? I don't want to skip him. If something spawns underneath me, that gives me the clear, like, you are supposed to fight this guy. That's why he's under fucking neath you.
Well.
Like, that's bull.
And that's what you're talking, I mean, that's what you're talking about with not really the open world type of game. Like, those are the kinds of things where I've played a ton of open world games, and that's all you ever do if something is a pain. You skip it, and then you come back later when you're stronger.
I don't want to skip it. And it was an island that you're not supposed to really go back to. It's like the plateau that you flyer glider off of. Why would it spawn something underneath me that I was physically incapable? And then also, nobody has numbers on their health bar. So I have no idea if this person or this boss or whatever is anywhere in my level range because they don't give me the information to know that. Ooh, they don't hold my hand. They don't really shove me out into traffic is what they do. Like, I don't care. Like, and I know this video is going to get flamed because you love it. Nick said, this is the most fun I've ever had in a single player game in my entire life. I never want to play the game again. That's what opinions are for, right? Like,
take that back.
I'm not going to take it back.
I need a divorce lawyer.
Perfect. In the market for a new husband or wife.
Hey now.
Anyways, wait. So can I talk about the game I do like?
Yeah.
So Skylanders Imaginators is a dope game. Like, I don't really care that it's made for children. I'm playing on expert mode because I'm an expert. But it's really fun. It's like a platformer kind of mixed with like an adventure-y kind of hack and slash sort of. Not really hack and slash, but it's kind of a spammy button mashing sort of game. But there's also like puzzles, and sometimes the camera will shift, so it's like side scroller. You saw that level I was on yesterday. It was so cool. The whole camera shifted and you were in like a like an 80s, 90s
Yeah,
style,
like 2D side scrolling. But that was just one level. I mean, most of the time it's full,
it's really cool.
3D and everything.
The level, like, and I've always liked games like that where you kind of have like a map and you're going from world to world. And I like it too because I've played a lot of the Skylanders games because Spyro was my favorite game when I was a little kid. Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage, top 10 games of my life. And all of them have a very similar play style to that. But this one, Imaginators, the character customization is crazy. You said that. You were like, holy crap.
So yeah, I
played everything.
I played the previous Skylander and for the previous console, and I wasn't like a huge fan of it. Like it was fun, but it wasn't anything that I could see myself really getting into. It didn't seem super complex.
The hard modes on this are hard. There was a difficulty, but hey, Tychus is upset at the snowplow.
But this one, with the introduction of the custom characters, I can see myself playing it for sure.
It's awesome.
So much there.
Well,
Why
there's
don't you
full
talk about that a
gear
little
sets.
bit?
Yeah, well, you can customize your character, and I mean everything, and also nothing is permanent. The only thing that's permanent when you make a character is their class. Like I made like a flame slinger, so they're like a fiery archer type thing, and you can change everything about them at any point. Like nothing is permanent. So you can change like their skin color, their eye color. You could change like on gloves, like 4 different colors on the gloves. And all of the gear also has stats on it now too. So it's not just for show gear. It's like good gear. And then because of that, I ended up turning the difficulty up, and I'm probably going to even turn it up one more because my gear is sick right now.
Yeah, so it's the detail behind the character creation is really impressive.
Good. Oh my god, do you know what my biggest complaint about that game is?
What?
It might be your biggest complaint too. Mm-hmm. The colors that identify the rarity of gear. Now, mind you, Skylanders is made by Activision, which Activision Blizzard is one company, right? Mm-hmm. It is... Blue is common.
Then purple.
Purple is rare. Green is epic, and then orange is legendary. What in the hell went on in the middle of that? It mind fucks me.
And it's not even orange,
time.
It's yellow.
It's it's close enough to not bother me. It's like gold, but it's fine. But why on earth would you make common? Why would you just jumble? I was very upset about that, especially since it was made by Activision, and I just felt like there was no excuse. But the character customization is amazing, and I love that you can change it at any time.
Being able to customize all the way down to the individual voice lines and emotes, and every
the music
little
that you
detail.
listen to, you can unlock a bunch of different music tracks to listen to while you're playing. It's a lot, and then I really like the variation in the levels. It's hard to feel bored when I don't know, just stuff changes all the time. And it's the type of game where I said with Zelda, I don't want to not complete it. Skylanders is straight up a completionist, wet dream. There's so many things to capture and unlock. And
the custom character crystal, did it come with the game?
One of them came with the game, and then
that's
the pack.
My biggest complaint about Skylanders is that fact of actually having to purchase different characters to load in and purchase additional crystals if you want to make more custom characters, because they're not cheap. They're $12 each. And even though we bought the game, if I play it, I can't make a custom character without going out and buying another one of these little crystals.
I'm not 100% positive that that's true, but
that's how it's been made to seem.
You would definitely be able to use the crystal that I have, and you might not be able to change it from a flame slinger, but because the coolest thing about Skylanders on this is that everything loads into the system and you don't need to scan it again. So you scan it once, you do whatever, you scan it again to save it, and that's it. That character is...
Until you die.
No. What? No. When you die, you just have to wait till the end of the level to use that character again. You have to get back to the map, and then your character's revived.
It asked me to rescan it.
No, that's because you have to scan it twice. I told you that. Everything has to be scanned twice. And I'm pretty sure... That's the one thing I'm not really certain, because I don't know anybody else with the Switch to test that out. I'm not entirely positive how it works to have multiple people... if you were to get... Because at some point, we'll get a second Switch. Yeah. Because this sharing thing is not working very well. But... I don't entirely know what will happen if... I don't know what'll happen. Because I know you can use the characters, right? Because or were you just playing on my name?
No, I was playing on my own.
So I know he can use the characters. It just, I don't know how the customization
that's
works.
another thing that is like kind of, I guess, a negative for me for the Switch as of right now. Although it seems like it might be fixed eventually, but they haven't really said that out loud.
Yeah.
Is like, so it's really cool that if you only have one Switch in your household, I think it's awesome that you can set up different usernames on the console so that everybody can have their own save files. You know, nobody accidentally overwrites someone else's game or something like that. So I think that is awesome.
Yeah, you get your own friend code and everything.
Yeah. However, we were considering getting another Switch, but we both created saves and played on this Switch.
A lot.
And as of right now, there is no way to transfer your save files or anything from this Switch to another. So if we do get another Switch, one of us is losing all of our progress and having to start over.
I don't mind. Skylanders is the type of game, like, because it's a completionist game, I want to go through 100% all of the levels. There is not a single level that I'm 100%, so I don't care. I would have to go back and do all the levels 2 or 3 times more anyway.
Yeah, that wasn't the point anyways.
But I get what you're saying.
The point was you can't transfer your accounts on Switches yet. Now, Nintendo did respond and say,
the word yet.
As of right now, you can't do it. So I don't know if that means in the future.
Backing up a little bit, why does Nintendo do this? Why do they come out with something and then it's in such a limited quantity that they don't want to take my money? I do not understand that. Like, I would buy another Switch today. I'm not kidding. I would buy another one today. But they're sold out
everywhere within 100 miles.
Everywhere within 100 miles. Like, why do they do that? Like,
but that's a lot. That happens with Google phones when they comes out. It happens with the other consoles when they come out.
Yeah, but they're in stock quickly. It's been a couple weeks already, and nothing is back in stock. There are accessories that are still not back in stock. Like, it was the day that they came out, everything was, and I get the idea of the, like, hot, oh, it's sold out. But then in the same sense, like, why? Why do you make people, like, I don't get it. Like, take my money.
Yeah.
I want to, or at least let me pre-order it now. There's not even somewhere right now where I could give them my money and get the next shipment. Like, that's not even available anymore. What is that? Like, why can't I just pay for it now? And then when you get one, I get one. Why do I have to sit here and, like, circle jerk on some website to find out when another one's going to be inside? It's stupid. It makes me not want to buy another one. Like, I would have bought another one already if it was possible. And it's just the longer I go without them taking my money, the more irritated I am about it.
Yeah.
Like, don't you want impulse buyers? That's a thing, right? Like, I don't understand. But
this was an impulse buy.
It was an impulse buy.
It was.
Well, it was like you bought the PlayStation for Horizon the day before or 2 days before, and then I think you felt bad. You were like, oh, she wants a thing, and I just got all the things.
We would have gotten one of these anyways. Name a console that's come out since we've been together that we haven't owned. I'll wait. Yeah. So, anyways, I am, like, overall, despite, what little nuisances there are with it, I am super impressed with it.
Oh, yeah.
I love the versatility of it.
I can't wait for Pokemon.
We just went to PAX. We, were away from the house for 3 or 4 days. We took this with us, and it was super fun to have, like, a full game console
it's not
in your
like
lap
a DS,
on
because
demand.
I felt like when I had a DS, I never used it. I would use it when a new Pokemon came out. I might use it when I was traveling, but it was nothing that I would, like, sit around the house and play. So the idea that this can, like, dock. You know what I do want? I'm sorry, ADHD.
A second dock.
A second dock. Like, they don't sell them right now, but
I
that
would like
be
one as well.
My, like, biggest
You get 3 docks.
want is, like, I would want a dock to hook up to my computer, a dock to hook up your computer, and a dock to hook up to the TV. Which when we get a second Switch, we'll have 2. But
Sell
this
more
can't
docks.
be the expensive part of the console. It can't. It's a glorified charging brick. Even if it was 50
it's
or
not
60
even
bucks.
that, because that's just plugging in like normal. This is a glorified USB-C to HDMI converter.
Yeah, that's really all it is. So it's like, I wish that I could get another dock, because I feel like already both of us would have used this
it's
more.
hollow. It's plastic and hollow.
It can't be expensive. And I would pay like $50 for it, and I think that, but they'll probably be 60 or 70 knowing Nintendo.
But like I definitely, like, we obviously are going to hook this one up that we have is in our living room. That's its place. But we'll have others at our computers for when we're there.
They'll sell them for sure. And like, I can see us getting a lot of use out of the Switches when that's an option.
Yeah. And I'm also interested, so you told me that they were not going to have a future Game Boy.
No, I don't think they're coming out with DSs or anything anymore. I think Switches were made to, like, replace all of Nintendo's
so
stuff.
console and handhelds. So with previous handhelds, there has always been a lot of interaction between them. Like you've been able to trade Pokemon forever.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other games where you can battle against players that are nearby or whatever.
Well, the last couple eras of DS have just been on the internet.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see,
well, this has
what games come out, what it's going to be like if you're in, if there's going to be that type of, you're out in public, there's 3 people next to you, can I play something
like
with
NFC
them?
almost. I got what you're saying. Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited. I'm really excited for Pokemon for a multitude of reasons, because if this is actually supposed to be the handheld that Nintendo has, that means the next generation of Pokemon will come out on this system, and that would also mean you could dock it and play Pokemon on your TV.
For the first time.
Like,
ever.
I've been begging for, like, a Pokemon
All right, not
game
ever.
like that.
I have played on a TV before.
With, like, the Super Nintendo cord to the Game Boy?
I used to have a game cartridge that would go into your Super Nintendo that then you could put a Game Boy into. Yeah. So, like, there was that. But, like, no. Like, I'm really pumped to actually have a legitimate, like, Pokemon game on the TV.
Same.
Without any
I'm excited for more titles.
Conversion necessary.
There's a lot of good titles coming out. Like, there's the new Super Mario. I think it's called Universe. There's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah, that's quick, right? That's only a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think that's the 28th, maybe.
Yeah.
Or it could be April 14th.
They had Mario Kart at PAX. It looked really fun.
I didn't get to see any. I saw it, but I didn't get to play it or anything. Busy.
Yeah, there was.
But I mean, I like all Mario Karts. So I'm gonna yawn.
Oh no. But yeah, so obviously, as with any console, it's only been a week. There's a very limited game selection right now.
I don't mind that though.
But I'm super excited.
Oh, you know what I do wish they would do though is allow
I'm super excited to see what comes out soon.
Are you done?
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would allow me to, even if I understand they can't, like, let you put your discs in from your old consoles, but I wish that I could play my Wii U games on it somehow. Like, I don't know how they would accomplish that, but, like, having this just makes me want to play some of those games. Like, okay, so this is the dumbest thing ever, right? But, so I told you I play Skylanders, and I've played old ones, and what's nice is that you can use your old Skylanders in this game. Are they optimal? No. But if you have, like, favorite characters, they're still viable. And, but in previous Skylander games, they had these hats. Like, they didn't have full gear, but they had hats that gave you stats. And you cannot remove the hats in the new games, but they don't have stats anymore because the games are different.
Obsolete.
So, like, I have a bunch of characters, and I used to always put the best stat hats on, so they had stupid hats. And I can't get the hats off, and there's no way to, like, I even tried resetting them, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do about that. It's really irritating. I'm going to sneeze.
Well, bless you.
Thank you. That's the stupidest complaint ever, though. But it's mine. It's my stupid complaint.
Yeah.
But all in all, like, I think it's a great console, and I think if you're on the fence about it and you like Nintendo titles, it is 100% worth getting.
Yeah.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is like a Wii U and a DS XL had a baby that was, like, better than both of them.
And if Ocarina of Time and Skyrim had a baby, it would be Breath of the Wild, and yeah, it's as amazing as that sounds.
It kicks you in the shins. Do either of those games metaphorically kick you in the shins?
You get shot in the knee with an arrow.
Would you give Breath of the Wild 10 out of 10?
Yeah.
I would not. I would give it like a 6.5 or 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I would give it a 10 for sure.
I just feel like, why isn't there multiple difficulties? Like, if they just literally had where you could turn it down to, like...
But even, that's not the same, though. Like, that's not...
Idiot mode?
Difficulty in game affects combat. And that's not the part that you're...
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because, like, those bosses that spawned underneath me, like, that wouldn't happen. Oh my god, and the blue torch can grade off. Like,
she said right in the text that it was outside where you
it doesn't matter. It started raining once. Anytime that you jumped on anything or did anything that wasn't straight walking, the flame went out.
And you totally missed the light posts that you could light along the way as checkpoints.
Because I had no idea that was a thing, because they don't tell you anything. And it's such a long walk. It's such a long walk that, like, I don't want to risk trying to do anything.
Yeah.
No, it's stupid and it's infuriating and it's not fun.
Absolutely love that they gave you the parasail like right in the beginning of the game. Like when we obviously play a ton of WoW, and like one of the coolest things of the current expansion that I liked was the kite. Yeah. And it's like no matter what you're doing, no matter where you were, if there's a cliff in front of you, you got a toy, you can kite down. Yeah. And they gave you a parasail in Zelda, and it's literally like you can climb up any mountain you want and jump off. Now, you have a stamina bar. Don't jump off too high. Your stamina will run out, then you fall. That's not good. But there also is, you know, even if you do that, there's a little backup. You can kite for like a split second without stamina. Only one time, though. But if you time it right, just before you hit the ground, you can survive. Have survived and not survived a couple times. Sorry that this turned
into a Breath of the Wild review, and I'm sorry that I'm like... disappointing people left and right.
It's the biggest game available for the Switch right now.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. And like, you know, there's a lot of different gamers that like a lot of different types of games, and nobody expects everyone to like every game. You know, if you think every person in the world is gonna like Breath of the Wild, you're wrong. Like, sorry. That's just how it is. I obviously love it.
I would have probably liked it better if you played it first, because then when I, like, encountered something, like, I would have just been like, hey, how do you do the thing? Like, cooking in that game is stupid and bad, too. Like, I think cooking in that game is garbage. Here, cook one item at a time. And if you try to cook multiple items, it'll cook it into one giant item instead of 5 individual items. Cooking in that game is garbage.
When you get later on in the game, you have more hearts, so you need to combine it into larger meals. I understand that, but, like,
why would you ever want to cook one thing at a time? Why is there no way to queue up and cook a bunch of stuff?
Well, it's not like WoW where you're actually going to use a ton of it.
I used a ton of it because I kept dying.
Well, that's because you were trying to fight a boss you shouldn't have been
fighting. Even after that. Even after that. I don't... Or, like, the one guy is like, go find me crickets. And they, like, didn't tell you, they gave you zero information about where to find the crickets. The quest helper marker, all it did was mark the NPC that you hand the crickets into. And then you're like, oh, all you just cut down grass. I hadn't gotten a single sword except for one that had 20, and I was told specifically, don't use your good weapons unless you really need to because they'll break and you need them for hard bosses. So, like, I didn't know that I could cut down grass. I didn't know that it wouldn't damage my sword to do that, and I certainly didn't know that that's how you obtained crickets.
Alright, now you're gonna have to let me talk about how awesome this game is. Like, at least for a second.
Go. Because you haven't been doing that all video or anything like that.
The way that they set it up, so you climb, use your scope, you see what's around you, you can mark things on your map, you can parasail down.
I thought the marks were weird too, because there were marks and
really
pins.
Cool too. Like any shrine you've been to, any tower you've activated, you can just fast travel back there, no questions asked, just from anywhere on the map. One time I was completely out of stamina on the side of a cliff, and I was like, well, I'm out of options. I guess I'll fast travel. And it totally worked and saved my life. So I just feel like the way that they've set it up, like it's so familiar to, like, it brings me back to a time when, like, you actually had to think to play and beat games.
Oh my
and I
God.
love it. I absolutely love it.
That's offensive. That every other game in the world you don't have to think.
I mean, it's fairly true.
Okay, Nick.
Like, most games nowadays, like, you have a dotted line to where you need to go. And you don't have to pay attention to the story. And you don't have to, you know, do anything specific. You just follow the tracker and you don't... It's thoughtless. But, like, I like actually having to figure stuff out. Yeah, but they don't even give you enough
information in this game. If you've not played a Zelda game before, they straight up do not give you enough information to complete the tasks you need to complete.
Yes, they do. It's all in the text.
Optimal faction. That's not true. Go through that quest and tell me where the fuck it tells me to cut down grass to get crickets. Seriously. I went back and talked to him 6 times.
All right.
And that's a lot of the quests. Go get my fucking maracas.
Well, it's just a side quest anyways.
But if they don't... It's infuriating how great everybody thinks this game is, because there are so many parts of it that are so counterintuitive and convoluted and overcomplicated, and everybody's just like, oh, Zelda. That's how I feel about you. You're that guy. Take your wiener out of your hand. Link.
Sorry that Zelda's too hard for you. I'm going to get in trouble for that later. If you don't see me, if I don't tweet at some point, rip me.
No, it's like not that it's too hard. Like it's not, that's not my complaint. Number one, if it's going to be a super hard game, I think there should be multiple difficulties. I do. And I think that maybe the easier difficulty does mark shit on the map appropriately. Or like TLDRs, what the fuck you need to do. Like it just, whatever. Like you like it, I don't. But you don't need to say things like, well, I like that it makes me think. Because that implies that I don't like to think.
There are some things that it will tell you to do like one time in the very beginning and then not again. And it's like, what I'm thinking of the hold attack power up move. You know, obviously I'm very familiar with this, used it in Ocarina of Time all the time, where you just hold the attack button, he holds the sword out, and then when you let it go, he spins around in a circle. And they mentioned it in like the first 2 minutes of the game, it was like a one screen pop up, like you can hold to do a power, and then like if you click off of it, you never see that pop up again.
It's not even in the select menu. When you go and look at the controls, like that isn't even in the controls menu.
Yeah, so like I do feel like it probably is, I'll give you, somewhat unfriendly to people who are new to the series.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. There should be a mode like in WoW where you can turn off the tips on the help screen. I fucking want tips on the help screen. That's all I'm asking for. Like I feel like in order for someone like me who's never played a Zelda game, I would absolutely need a strategy guide to play that game effectively. Because it's so much that they just put in front of you, and if you aren't familiar with the franchise, like it's too much. There's no means of narrowing it down to, like, feel like you can accomplish anything.
Well, I disagree, but I'm biased. I have played the series.
You've never not played Zelda, though, so you wouldn't know what that feels like.
I haven't played many, though.
Yeah, but it's modeled off of the ones you played.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, anyways, the TLDR, I actually really like the Switch. A lot.
Me too.
I really like it a lot. I'm excited
for more games.
I'm excited for more games to come out. I'm excited for them not to be like perma sold out because it's obnoxious. I would like the record to state I don't actually hate Breath of the Wild. I just get in heated debates with Nico because that's what married life is like. But I'm glad that you like it. I wish you wouldn't say things like I like games that make me think because it implies that I don't like to think.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be a reflection on you. That was purely me.
Oh.
Yep.
Got it. Well.
But overall, it's a lot of fun. Mario Kart, like, we'll be getting on launch day.
For sure.
We've owned the last few Mario Karts.
There was
They're always
a couple
fun.
games that are coming. I really want the Super Mario universe, too. I love all the... We played through... it was the new Super Mario Brothers Wii U or something like that, and we loved that. We played through the whole... We beat the whole game, and then once you beat it, you get, like, a secret level with... What's her name? Rosalina.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get like her secret levels, and it almost is all very reminiscent of Rainbow Road, but not in a racing game.
Yeah.
And we played through a lot. Like I think we almost 100% that game. We put a lot of hours in that game. We also played New Super Mario Brothers Wii U, which is the opposite one, not the 3D one, but the side-scrolling one. Yeah. And that was hard.
Oh, it was so
fun, I remember
fun,
playing that together. And see, but I liked that. Like, I loved that.
Yeah.
Frustrating to play with another person, though, because if you got to one end of the screen or the other, it'd be like, hurry up,
slow
down.
Yeah, that's two-player side-scroller,
but it was
no matter
just
what
fun,
you do.
yeah. So I'm excited for more games to come out. I'm excited. I ordered the pack of 8 crystals for Skylanders. Because, you know what I was thinking? Is Skylanders is intended to be a children's game, and I don't believe that. I feel like it's intended to be like a... women in their mid-20s to mid-30s game. Because there's no way that, like,
there's probably
unless
a
your
broad
parents
range.
were super privileged, like, there's no way that you could really accomplish a lot with that game, like you said, because you need... They start you out with 2 of the senseis and 1 of the crystals, and, like, that means that a solid, like, half the levels are not available to you.
Yeah, and I typically just dislike games with, like, a paywall situation like that, but it's not a new concept. Yeah, you know that before you buy the game.
It's almost kind of like a lot of DLC is what it is. It's almost like the base game is everything you can do with those 3 figures, and then everything else from there is like DLC, but it's physical. But I also like the aspect of having the characters and collecting them because I like to collect things. I feel like I'm making up for a deprived childhood with all my toys now, so it doesn't bother me any. But I would love to hear what you guys think. If you got a Switch, what games did you get? Did you like them? Did you get stuck on the first boss of I Am Setsuna? Did you like Breath of the Wild? Did you not like Breath of the Wild? I would love to hear what everybody thinks
Yeah.
because I know that our opinions are very different and we get along really well and we like live together and are in the same house and we still are like polar opposites on a lot of our opinions. So
Yeah.
I'm always interested to hear what other people think and please keep it kind in the comments. Like,
yeah, honestly,
please
guys,
don't
like,
call anybody names because they do or don't like the same things.
gaming
as you.
is all about having fun. Like from the beginning of like the industry, it's been about having fun. And yes, you know, there's competitive and there's, you know, all the serious things go along with it, but gaming is about being fun, and you should never, you know, judge someone or give someone a hard time because they don't like the same games you like, you know?
Who cares?
Like,
It
I'm
doesn't
having
matter.
fun with this game, she's having fun with Skylanders, like, we're both having fun, and we're both playing the Switch having fun, so, like, if you learned nothing from this review, we're both having fun from the Switch.
Yeah,
with the
and liking totally different things. And
Yeah, and that's totally fine.
There's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, leave us some
I
comments.
still love her.
Oh, thanks. You're all right, I guess. Leave us some comments and let us know what you guys think. And we look forward to reading them. And this was supposed to be a video, by the way, that was sponsored by Luke Gaming. But New York is pummeled by snow currently, as is most of the northeast of the United States. We got like 2.5 feet in overnight. Like, crazy. We got home Monday and there was no snow. Not a flake. I mean, like, no snow.
Green grass.
Green grass. And, like, as of right now, we can't leave our house because we're straight up, like, snowed out.
That's right.
So,
now we get to stay in and play the Switch all day.
That's right. Well, I have to work. It's good for you, though. We're going to go. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day, though. And if you are still trying to get a Switch, good luck.
Yeah.
I feel your pain. We're going to go. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. We love you all. You're in our hearts, which if it was Zelda, there would be multiple.
Oh, it's so many.
So many hearts. You start with 3, I think. We're going to go. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. We love you all. You're in our hearts. We'll see you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.